Yeah. See, so this is a single value field. As you can see, how many last name can a person have? One.
One last name.
And how many can be entered here? Just one, right? So how many first name can be entered here? Just one. So that means it's a single value field. Okay. Now, whereas this field, which I'm opening now, this is a multi-value group. How many addresses can a last name or can a person have?
Multiple.
So is SBl allowing you to enter multiple addresses for the same address in this thing?
For the same name?
For the same person? Yeah. Yes, SBl is allowing you to enter multiple addresses for the same guy, for the same person, for the same record. How it is allowing? You can create multiple addresses. If you can see, you can pick multiple addresses, and you can keep adding the addresses which it is associated with. So these are the 4 addresses where this person is living or whatever. These are associated with him. So we understood one of the very important things about SBl multi-value group applets. So this is an applet. This thing that pops up, this whole thing, this is an applet, and we call it MVG applet. We need to remember that it's called as multi-value group applet.
Group applet. Okay.
Yeah, multi-value group applet, and these are single value fields. Please mind it, these are terms, and these are specific to SBl. So this is what they are called. You cannot say multiple value groups. You cannot say multi-values group. You cannot say MVGs. So you cannot say multi-value groups. You can say, but you are getting my point. My point is that is a wrong way of saying.
Multiple.
It's a term. It's a term. This is a name, and it is suggestive of its behavior also. The name is suggestive of the behavior in this case, but it is still, this is the way we call it.
Right? It's a multi-value
group applet or MVG applet. Okay. One very important about SBl. Other thing is, this is a drop down, right? Drop down has this mechanism basically allows you to select, allows sales rep or anybody or the user to select only one value out of these values. Is it right?
Only. Yes.
This is
question. Can
you have many options? You can have many options.
Okay.
Yeah. For example, in this one we have a lot of options along with a scroll bar.
Okay.
Right? Your question is how many options can we have?
Oh,
you can have multiple options, but question is, if there are 2,000 options, would you like to provide this facility for the users to enter?
No.
Okay. So if you are a designer, you will not provide this facility if there are 2,000 options. You will provide some other facility. We'll look at various options. We'll look at various facilities that you can provide. But this facility will not make any sense. Okay, in that case. So it can probably accommodate a lot of options. You can show a lot of drop-down options, but it will not make any sense. Okay. This in SBl, this is called as list of values or LOVs. List of values or LOVs. Okay.
Gray out field is read only, correct?
Yeah.
You can edit it. Okay.
Okay. So call frequency is a what kind of field in SBl terms? Out of these 4, tell me which one is this?
These are list of value.
Perfect. These are list of, yeah. It's an LOV. Call frequency is an LOV.
Oh, so
yeah. Right. One very important thing is the SBl word is list of values, but I am pretty sure you guys understand we should call it list of options or list of choices. That's a better term, but they call it list of values. Okay. We all understand that we are looking at SBl 6 GUI, although SBl 7 GUI is also there, which is, trust me, slightly different. Conceptually, the things that I'm telling you, they are all same. Okay. Now this is an LOV, right? With reference to the fact that this is a restricted field, sometimes these fields are also called as free form fields. You can enter anything, so they are also called as free form fields.
Oh, yeah,
sometimes people just 2F FF field. Oh yeah, I never thought they can put 3Fs also, but that's correct.
Yeah.
You're in the right direction. This is the way they do.
is also
free form field or FF field. Writing your design specs, you will be writing this is a free form field.
Yeah.
Once you write it as a free form field, you give it to the developer, he will make it a free form field. Okay, that means he will not put an LOV there, he will not put an MVG there, he will just put a single value field which is a free form field. Making sense? Adnan, is this a multi-value group?
is the what?
Is it MVG? Is it an MVG?
FVG.
Is it an MVG?
FVG.
I have a very important question for you, Adnan. The question is, these are various choices, right? What is the value of the type field? What is the value in the type field?
What is the value of the
Type field for this record, what is the value?
What is the record or what is the value?
What is the value for status field?
That active.
Okay, what is the value of the last name field?
What?
Last name?
Last name. What is the Goldsmith?
Goldsmith, perfect. What is the value in the type field?
You have to use the choices from list of options.
But let's right now, what is the value?
Non-blank.
Yes, blank, null. There is no value, right?
Yeah.
Right?
You have to use
Now, what is the value in the type field? Now, right now.
Highlighted one is central tab technician.
But it is still not chosen.
It's still not shown. That's why.
What is the value now?
Yet.
So what is the value now?
Non-blank.
It is still null.
Yeah.
It's not none. It's null. Give me one. So it is still null, right? So it is a blank or a null, right? So it is still null, right? Are you sure, Adna? It is still null, right?
Yeah,
okay, that's what I was looking for. When I choose, or can you ever? Okay, let's say choose this one. Okay, so now what is the value?
Now you have an HMO executed. That's
Now,
right.
right. Okay. Now answer me a question, Priya. Are these, there are like 3 plus 3 plus 9, total 9. Are these 9 the values of that field?
No, these are the LOEs.
Yes, exactly. So what is the value?
HMO executive.
Okay, so you are clear about all this, right? Okay. Please notice that HMO executive is the value, the rest are the choices. They are not the values of this field. They are the list of choices or the list of options, or in civil terms they are called as list of values, but they are not the actual values of this field. They are the options or the choices for this field. Is it right?
Okay.
I'm in the opportunity screen. See, while I'm entering a new opportunity. This is a free form field, single values free form field. Is it right, Adnan?
Right.
This is this an MVG?
It's a MVG.
Is it an MVG?
MVG, yes.
No. See, this is also not an MVG. Just because of the fact there are 3 dots, it does not make it an MVG. Is it right?
Oh, then
It is just a data entry device, just a helper in entering data. Okay. All right. Similarly, this is also a helper in entering data. It doesn't mean this is an LOV. Hello. So these are data entry helpers or data entry devices. There is a very specific term also for this. I'm not aware of that term. I'm not able to recall, but these are just data entry tools. It is data entry aid device or data aid device, something like that. But this is not the values.
neither. No.
So it is not LOVs. Similarly, this is not an LOV or an MVG. It is just a way for you to say what is the value. What's the value of this field? It's just, we have these entry devices. Similarly, it just helps you in entering the data in a quicker manner. I don't know how quickly will it help, but I think it is just for that. Making sense? Similarly, this one, it just helps you in entering the data properly, right? Right? Whereas this is an LOV. It restricts you. It does not let you enter anything else, right? There is a finite list of stuff that you can enter. You cannot enter anything more than that.
Anything
Right?
more than that.
I think that's a very important thing. There is a finite list. You cannot enter anything more than that. Okay. We call these when very important things. If you notice, okay, in lead quality you can enter either this or this or this. If you try to enter something else, let's say, you cannot just enter it. You cannot just enter it. We call these kind of LOVs as bounded LOVs. They bound you. They bound you hard. They don't just let you enter anything else. Typically, LOVs are bounded.
Boundary.
By default or by in general jargon, in general I have seen that LOVs are always bounded. They are bounded LOVs. Now let's observe another LOV. It's a very classic case in SBl. See, if you come here, do you see how many values are there? How many values are there, Adnan?
How many? 10.
10. There are 10 values, right? So, right?
I love it.
Right? So, if you enter 15 here, let's try to enter 15. Is 15 one of the values? No, right?
It's not there. It will not accept. Oh, it does?
It did. It did accept 15 also. This is called as, there is an LOV, there are LOVs,
Unbound.
but they are unbound. It's unbounded by that. So it's not really a restriction here. It's just a data entry device this time. But again, we need to see, there is a visual difference between LOVs and some other actual data entry device. So this is an LOV. And the way you set up LOV is different. The way you set up this data entry devices are different. So please, there's a visual difference between LOVs and this thing. Just keep that in mind, right? Very clear, visible difference.
So-
other things is, this is a check mark. We all know that,
Yeah. Check.
right? This is a check mark, right? This is a check mark. You can check it or you can uncheck it. Is it right?
That's fine. I can
Yeah.
see.
These are just various things. There is one more thing that I will now show you. Okay. If you click on this, see, you can enter an account from one of the existing accounts. You can enter one account from one of the existing accounts. So AC Research one is one of the existing accounts, right? You pick it. You picked it, and now it is the value of that field. This applet from where you picked, this applet from where you picked, this applet which I am moving around, this applet is called as pick applet because you pick from this.
Oh, pick applet.
Pick applet. You write it. Pick applet. By the way, I think I didn't come here, but bounded and unbounded are spelled like this. They are spelled like this. So here we are, pick applet.
It's multiple. Oh, it has a different information for that contact. Or it might be.
What is the salient feature of an MVG, Mustafa?
What's the main feature?
Yeah.
For the MVG. In MVG, it will hold multi-values,
Yes.
and in this case, it's MVG applet, and at the same time, it's pick applet. If this is the addresses.
Okay. So let me come this thing. So we understood these things one by one, but let's cover it up.
Okay.
See, at a point, an applet is either MVG or pick. It cannot be both.
Cannot be both?
It cannot be both. At one point of one particular applet cannot be both.
Oh,
This-
okay.
This is MVG because of the fact that it has multiple records, not multiple values.
Oh,
But wrong way of saying the things. This SBl terminology is not one of the things. It has multiple records, right? You can have put multiple records here, right?
This is MVG.
So there are how many records are there? There are 4. How many values are there? There are 4 into like these many values.
You can pick
But-
one value.
But what I'm really talking about these 4 values here. These are the 4 different records which are there, right? So it holds multiple records, and these are all multiple records which are associated with this parent record, this Adelman. How many names Adelman Deborah has?
Just one.
What's her name? What's her first name?
Deborah.
Deborah. What's her last name?
Adelman.
Okay. Which address does she live at?
128 Plastic Corner.
Correct, but not correct. Okay. Okay.
Oh, it can be changed.
She lives at 4 addresses.
Oh, the one that is checked.
Okay.
Not.
No. Oh,
No.
Okay.
She lives at all these 4 addresses. That is her primary address, but does not mean that other addresses are not hers. They are also hers. Out of 20,000 or 200 million addresses in the world, she lives in these 4 addresses. These are her 4 addresses. That track thing is just the primary thing. It's just her
Just the
primary
primary
address.
one where she wanted.
Yeah,
all
it's
the
just the
billing.
primary address.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Similarly, this account, right? How many addresses does this account have?
I will see
No.
the address.
None. How many addresses can be entered?
Multiple.
Multiple. So this is an MVG. Because so whenever you have to provide a facility as a business analyst, whenever you have to provide a facility to enter multiple values, you have to think in terms of MVG. Making sense?
Yeah.
Right? And now let's come to opportunity. Okay, how many accounts is this opportunity? Okay, let's say test opti 1224. Okay,
Yeah.
what's the name of this opportunity?
Test option 1224.
Perfect. What is the revenue of this?
What is the value?
What is the revenue?
1 million.
Oh, well,
4,200.
42.
$1,042.
This is 1,000, 1 million, or 1,000.
It's 1042. Okay, which account is it associated with?
Which account?
There's nothing to know.
Yes, nothing.
There's nothing there. I
No.
can find out.
It is not associated with any account at this point,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Right here. See here. This is blank, right?
Nothing there now.
How many
This is a
records?
pick applet.
How many records? How many accounts it is associated with at this point?
At this point,
Yeah, whatever. Oh, none.
It's not.
there.
Still null.
Yeah.
Perfect. Still null. How many records it is associated with at this point?
1.
And what is the name of that account?
A and E.
Department 1.
Department.
Right? A and E, Department 1. Perfect. Are all these the values of that field? Is this opportunity associated with all these accounts? I'm asking, is this opportunity associated with all these accounts?
Opportunity.
Is it associated right now with all these accounts?
No.
At this point.
Answer is no. No. No, it is not. It can be associated with any one of these, right?
Yeah.
But it is not associated with all of these. These are just pretty much all the opportunities in all the accounts in the company, isn't it right? So these are pretty much all the accounts in the company. You pick one of them. Pick it. So now it is associated with Red Cross. Making sense?
Okay.
So we understood the difference between pick applet and MVG applet.
MBA.
Pick applet allows you to pick one value and associate with the current record. MVG applet holds multiple values for that particular record. Right? How will you enter multiple values otherwise? Comma? There is no way. They have to provide some way, right? This is SBl answer to that issue. Okay? SBl provides an MVG, it's here. It provides an MVG to enter multiple values for that same person, for that same account, for that same record, for that same person, for that same account, anything, right? So whenever there is an MVG, whenever there is a one-to-many relationship between something, you have to think in terms of MVG, okay? Whenever you want to associate an the thing being entered, let's say you want to associate this record with some other record, then you have to think in terms of pick applet. Making sense? Sure. You go to anyone, right? Let's say you're entering agreements. This is a pick applet.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
This is a pick applet. This is a pick applet.
Yeah.
You know, you are saying this agreement is associated with this parent agreement. So it can have only one parent. So you are picking it and putting it here. Making sense? Similarly, you are saying that this can have only one service provider. Okay. Idea is not one. Idea is you can pick out of all the service providers, all the accounts. So you're picking it. You're picking it. Making sense? So these are all pick applets. You can see it. You can feel it. You know, slowly and slowly you'll start feeling that these are the pick applets. Making sense? This is what? This is a single value field.
Yes.
And this is this. What is this area? This is just an entry device. But what kind of field is it? It is a single value field. Date type.
It's unbound.
Yeah, you can
And
retype it. Single.
Well, it's not pretty. It's not bound because
unbound.
it's not even. I will not talk about bounded and unbounded.
Yeah, it's just a free
it's single
field.
value.
It's
Free
single
form
value field, and it's a free form field. You can pretty much type anything. The only thing is it has to be a date. It's a date type field. Basically, that's how you say it, right? You can call it date type. That's fine,
Data.
right? This is also date. This is also date.
Okay.
Numeric
This-
field. Numeric field.
No, this is not numeric. This is a date field. because it's had date in it.
Numeric means all numbers, right?
Yeah, but
So
that's
about the
that.
price
But that
before.
number means whenever the numbers make sense as a date. See, date can be written as 8th January also.
Yeah.
So that will not change it. It is still date. If you change it to 8 Jan, it will become alphanumeric. So it's not numeric. I will not call it numeric, but that's a good catch. It's a date field, not numeric, ma'am. Numeric field, there is no numeric field here. Most probably SSN will be a numeric field if there is any. Okay. Okay. Typically, address is an MVG. Okay. This is an MVG. Okay. This is an MVG too. Okay. So you look at it, you will realize that this is associating. This is not picking. We have actually associated this thing. So you will realize from that. This in this case, even status is an MVG. It can have multiple statuses. You can enter one more status value. At a particular date, this was the status. So status, this field is an MVG. Did you notice?
Yeah.
This is an MVG. Right? This is not. This. So this is an MVG too. This is an MVG. See, it can have more than two values, more than one value. This applet is an MVG applet. Making sense? This address, this is a pick applet or an MVG applet? Adna. What do you think? Look at the title also, it will give you some hint. Usually it gives you some hint.
These are MVG under that account.
Pick लिखा हुआ तो फिर it's pick.
Yeah.
Oh, these are pick accounts. Yeah, pick applet. Under account.
Yeah. How many accounts, how many are these all the addresses which are associated with this field? No, there is only one address which you are
this one,
picking from here, right?
Oh yeah, you're clicking on the screen tab on top. Yeah, those are pick.
This is pick, right? You're picking it, right? This is a pick applet.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah.
You know the difference between pick applet and MVG?
MVG, yeah.
Is that okay? Another very special thing. You click on this. Is this an MVG or a pick applet? Look at the field. You look at just one thing. Just look at the field. Try to get a business understanding of what this field means. Then think about whether this is an MVG or a pick applet.
MVG or pick applet. Okay, those are pick applet. You can pick the account. I'll pick the user ID.
Yeah. See, what is the name of the field? Okay, let's go one by one. What is the name of the field?
A team.
Team. Do you think you expect to see one person there or multiple people there?
This one.
No, you expect to see how many people in the team?
Oh, more than one. Yeah.
More than one. So it makes more. So you're ready for some more thing, more than one thing, right?
Okay.
Are you ready mentally for some more thing? That's what I'm saying. Keep your ears and eyes open. Look at it and then speak. I told you. Look at the field name. So this is an MVG,
Team. MVG. Okay.
right? How many people are associated with this account, with this institution? Record?
Excluding the admin.
Why should we exclude it? He's also associated, right?
Yeah, consider. Okay. 5 people are there.
5 people are there. He is the primary, but he is also there,
He's also there.
right? So primary is checked. For only one is checked as primary. I'm sorry, that's the right word to say. Only one record is checked as primary. So in every MVG, you will see there will be one primary.
One. Okay.
That's one big difference, visual difference. That's a visual cue between pick applet and MVG. There will be a primary in MVG because when there are multiple people associated with an account or with some record, then the concept of primary arises.
So
Out of all these 5 people, who's the primary? Who's primarily working on this account, right? Whether it's Mustafa, Hafiz, you, Priya, or me.
So mostly then.
A very good rule that you can follow, okay? But at the same time, I take the liberty to say that's a very good visual cue and it will help. But important thing is, apply your business ideas also. Team, what do you expect to see there? One person?
More than one. No.
So it has to be MVG.
MBG, okay.
Right? So you will be designing this MVGs. You have to think whether you want to put an MVG or not. You want to give an MVG to the users or not. That's how you should be thinking. So this is really too low thing for you to think about. This is an MVG. You should remember that. Other thing is, right? All these are associated with this particular record, right? With this particular institution record, whatever this institute is. And these are all these teams. These are all these people. They are all associated with this record. Is it right?
Record, okay.
Whereas in this case, there is no pick applet. Let me see if there is any pick applet. By the way, madam, one other concept that I want to tell you about is when you pick the address or the account. Did you notice the address also gets picked? Did you guys notice that?
Address order.
Or when you pick that, okay. When you go to account, let's say you want to pick when you pick the address, you know, this is on the MVG button is on this, but all these are also borrowed from the same MVG applet. Is it right? They're all together. They are appearing on this applet. They are appearing on this applet, but they are coming from this applet. Is it right? So this is although these are appearing on this applet, are these the part of account table, or these are the part of the address table, or the address MVG or address applet? These are appearing on account applet, but they are basically coming from this MVG applet. Is it right?
They're coming from account address.
Yes. Similarly, this site is also coming from this thing only. You cannot enter it here. Is it? Do you see my point? In our design, we need to mention this thing sometimes. This information, I'm sorry. For example, this site is when you pick an account here, the site also comes with it. When you pick an account, let's say this one, it will become Montclair. See, in our design, we need to mention that this site field is not. It is a field dependent upon the account. This is not dependent on the opportunity, right? Whatever account you enter or you pick, this site is dependent upon that. This is also another important thing that I observe on this GUI. It is linked to the account. The site is linked to that account too. What all is linked to that? This address, this site, this and this and this. All these are linked to that account. When you are gathering requirements, this is the area where you will be putting all this. You know what the field will look like, what will be the label of that field, whether it will be a it will be a read only or not. Let's see some other properties that we put here. Okay, so we'll go back to our this thing. When you click on new, do you see some fields are already pre-populated with certain values? This is close date is pre-populated with today's date. This is pre-populated with today's date and time too. Is it right?
Yeah.
This is pre-populated with whosoever is logged in his user ID his user ID. This is pre-populated with 0%. This is pre-populated with 0. Right? So we call this as pre-defaults. So in SBl there is a concept called as pre-default. So pre-populated values. When you click on new, then what all is pre-populated? We all notice this thing now. Right? Right, Mustafa? Let me check it then for you. You can actually make up to 1,000.
1,000?
Yeah.
Really?
So you can make it. It's really not important what it is now.
Oh,
Okay. What did I say, Adna?
You can make up to 1,000, but right now what you just said,
Yeah,
it's not really important.
It's not really important.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not really important. Do you agree with that fact? That's not important. What is the length here? This is vanilla SBl. You'll be changing it, right? Wherever you will go, it will be different length depending on their business needs, right?
But it holds up to 1,000 characters.
It can go up to 1,000 characters too. Yeah. So we all understand that. Other thing is, see, we all remember in SBl 6 or in SBl 7 there is a columns displayed for the list, right?
Yeah.
Right? We will be gathering requirement what will be already by default displayed in this list. Okay? in this list, and sum is here, right? Right. So in vanilla, in opportunity, okay, let's come here. See, in vanilla, in data source list applet, I want to come to one thing. I am just looking for an example of that. Let me see something. Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. You know what is a calculated field, Mustafa?
Calculated fields.
Oh,
What is
on
it?
the right?
In calculated fields, if you enter values, it will run the formula to give you the result of the formula. It's like, okay, example, value of the product plus the pairs. So the result will be the calculated value, which is resulted from two different values or two parameters.
Okay. So that's a mathematical calculation. Do you think it can be a string calculation also? Whatever product
if, then, or whatever.
Yeah.
Any formula.
Yeah. Okay. Right. See, know about
Value of field.
the value of the field depends on the value in something,
Value
some
of
other
the-
field.
Okay.
It could be on the same app.
Some other field. Yeah. Okay. So in order to look for them, we can go find out, right? If it in our system.
Yeah. You know, let me think of something. Let me see. Maybe Aura has something. But I can tell you one thing, guys. In your everyday, in the implement, and it's not big deal. Everybody, you guys will be working for them. Yeah, their team is usually composed of people like us. Nothing very special in them. Yeah. So Accenture basically what it does is picks the people from the market. One guy they take from their team. Rest everything they pick from the market. Right? Okay. So coming back. So if you, usually they are done by them. So usually, like let's say you are working in a new implementation, then new implementation is a way to go. The day you complete one good new implementation from scratch, you are a SBl master. But it will take a while before I put you on that kind of a project.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, like Guru is one. So if the plan, like we have team here, we have people here who can do. The only thing is we don't have resources. Feasibility is there, time wise, resources wise, and capability wise. See, we can get projects in Nashville and get those projects, and then you guys will be implementations complete. You're getting my point, right? You can get the whole implementation, Mustafa. We can. There's nothing stop. There is the only thing stopping is if I leave my job and do that, I lose my. You see my point. At the end of the day, my bread is running from that 9 to 5 job, not from this, not from that.
That's right.
Right, and that's future. That's not even happening. We can do that. If we get a project like that, all of you will be in the project next time. I will be obviously taking my own people, right? So, but, like it takes a little bit of time. You have to have patience. You have to make presentations. You have to make demos, show them your capability. But we have all capability here. Like we like Guru is like a pro. Basically, at the heart is always a developer. You need a good developer always. Whether you have a good BA, project manager, everything is good, but you need to have a good developer also. So Guru and you probably can make a very good combination there because Guru is very good in SBl ideas and web, and he knows all these things. .NET, J2E, he can integrate anything with anything,
Really?
any technology with anything. He is worked on usually a SBl developer. He's not aware of the rest of the technology. He doesn't know. So SBl programming is easy. So any Tom, Dick, and Harry can become a SBl programmer. So, but he is like 10 years experience, and he has a master's in English. So he did a lot of programming before he entered into SBl in other areas. So then he entered into SBl. So he takes project where all the skills are used. Like in my current this thing, they're integrating SBl with .NET, J2E, so on and so forth, and all the interfaces are written by him. He writes from SBl the code till .NET. That's his capability. So that's why he's paid $12. If you can come up with SBl, .NET, J2E integration, web services, and all those things, I don't know what that terminology is not really my thing. But if you guys can do that, calculated field, right?
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right?
But I'm listening to you, but
It fields. Guys, look for those. They are there. There are like hundreds of them in the actual application. Application, typically at the client side, it will be the fields will be getting their values from some other systems a number of times, right? SBl is not the one which is a master of everything, right? So whenever the master is something else, the values will be coming from there.
But not in the SBl system, but in
It
another.
will be coming, it will get stored temporarily in SBl and it will be shown here. But SBl, so that design says that when it is not owned by SBl people, the people using the SBl should not edit it. So they will be read only and they are directly determined by somebody else, right?
can they be in the
One more thing that you have to remember is there is a thing called as auto-generated thing, auto-generated number. Some field will be auto-generated. It is different from row ID. That is for database purposes. What I'm talking about is for the business purposes. One of the fields that we can use for business purposes is row ID. So I'm coming back to that.
That's okay.
But I'm saying is that auto generation is a for the business purpose is a different concept than the auto generation for the database. Every table is going to have a row ID, right? At least one unique value, always one row ID. So that is a different concept. That's there. But for business also, sometimes to carry out the business, we generate an automatic number, right? Usual choice for a SBl developer or a SBl business analyst or a SBl designer is he says, why don't we use a row ID itself, because that's auto-generated too. Why don't we use a row ID for the business purpose? Okay. But frequently users might ask, can we auto-generate a simpler number like a 9-digit, 8-digit number so that we can give it to customers also? Tell them this is your ID, and then they will call back saying, can I, the reference ID. So you must be having service number, case numbers, right? So they will be auto-generated, or you make it yourself when you make a new case. It is auto-generated by the system, or you make it yourself.
No, it auto-generated.
It is auto-generated by the system. So typical choice. When you guys are working as a business analyst, you will try to suggest to the user, do you want to use this row ID? That will be your choice, right? Because it's easy to write code. Code is already written, nothing has to be done. It's very easy. It's almost vanilla. You just have to make a new field. So this auto generation is an interesting concept. So there are a lot of things around this that a business analyst has to know. Okay. I told you about there are two types of buttons: new, delete, copy, cancel. But these are separate buttons. These are special buttons. They basically are linked to certain scripts, certain codes, certain workflows, things like that. So we need to be aware, that we cannot click them just like that. Yeah, what is this verify and assign? What do they mean? Okay, they definitely mean something, right? But the answer I gave to you is, I'm giving to you is, I don't really care, and you shouldn't be really bothered about too, because of the fact that where you will go, they will be having different fields, different buttons over here, and they will be attached to different functionalities. So important thing is typically what kind of functionality is attached. Typically they start a workflow, they do something, they start a script, they invoke something, right? Things like that. So your ability to, when you click on this button in the QA environment, obviously you will be doing all this. You will not be doing it in the production, of course. In the QA environment, in the sample data, in some data, you will basically click on this and then you will see exactly what is happening. And that's what will come handy to you while designing your enhancement. So if it is already happening, then that means that you're not working on it. You're working on something else, right? Somebody has already done that. So if it comes to a point that you have, like let's say you're going to scratch an implementation from scratch, or you have to design such button. At that point, again, your ability to go back to vanilla and see what happens when you click on this will come into picture. At that point, I will tell you where to go to find out exactly what this button does, right? You will see hundreds of buttons on various screens. Don't try to get into them. They are not what your strong point is as of today. If you tell somebody, I know what assign button works, he will not select you in the interview. You see my point? Because even you can understand it does not matter. That's why a good interviewer will say this does not matter. What matters is, you know how to design this thing? Do you know what gets into your mind? What kind of requirements are there? And what kind of analysis you perform, and how do you come out with this idea of providing this button, or you come out with an idea of not providing this button? These are the things that they will look for, and that's what the ability that you need to have, right? So I take the liberty to say, This is not important at all. Okay. Outer generation is one idea that we talk. I will not talk about constrained pick list. Okay. Okay. When you click on this new, what are the values available in this? Just a minute. You see something when you click on this, when you click on new, right? If you see sub area, there are diagnostic installation, so many different types of values available. Is it right?
Yes.
Is it right? Let's say you pick network here, then you don't see all the values. You see only those two values which have area as network. If you pick service, then you see different values here. Is it right?
Yes.
Right? Right? If you pick usage, you see different values. Oh, you don't see any values here. If you pick replace, then you see different values here. We call this that this is a constrained pick list. Sub area pick list is a constrained pick list. It's an LOV. It's a constrained LOV. By the way, generic name of LOV is in another name used in SBl is like called as pick list. That is also used, right? So and it just came to my mind that pick list is also synonym of like LOV, and this thing that I showed you is called as constrained pick list. So you should know what is a constrained pick list. It is constrained by some other field. Is it right? By the values in some other field, right? If you see, this date opened is a calculated field. If you see, date opened is a calculated field. It is calculated on the basis of the current date and time, isn't it? So date opened is a calculated field. Isn't it right, Mustafa? It is a calculated field.
Yeah.
Yeah, although the calculation is based upon certain external parameters.
Yeah.
You know, it's not in SBl. You know, it's just time is picked from just the use of time, right?
Yeah.
This is one other important aspect. The data entry tab order. When you are entering this data, right? I'm just entering something. When you press tab, now I'm pressing tab. You guys can't see, but just see. But just try to understand that I'm pressed tab. It came to matter ID. Then I go to this. Go to status. You see this? When users are entering values, they don't want to do like this. They don't want to enter like this. Mouse here, then enter this, then mouse here, then enter this, then mouse here, then enter this. They want to press tab.
Tab, right.
So tab should give you a logical flow of data entry too. If you know, right? It should not happen that when they enter name, then after that they press tab, it comes to maximum attendance.
Oh,
Is it right? So your tab order should be
in sequence.
in sequence, and this sequence who will give you? Users will directly give you. You cannot really decide. You ask them, tell me what kind of information you get first. What kind of information you would what do you want as to be the flow of information or the data entry sequence? Data entry sequence is the right thing. If you guys can understand that, just the data entry sequence. What do you want it to be? Mind it, guys. This is different from the screen flow. We're not talking about the screen flow. We're not talking about the entities flow. We're simply talking about within this entity when they are entering this data. Each and every field after that they want to tab. Then they want to obviously enter the next logical thing. For example, when somebody calls you, you don't want to enter his wife name, kid name first. You want to enter his last name first, then his first name, then his social security, things like that. You don't want to enter his date of birth first. First thing is date of birth. Then you enter something that will be his title. Then you enter then his wife's name. Then you press tab. Then it comes social security number. Then he presses tab, first name. Then he presses tab, his kids. This is not the way he wants to enter. The rep wants to enter. So the tab order should be logical. It should be making some sense. You guys, from where will you get this sense? Mostly from users, because guys, they will not. Last name, first name, everything will be common. That will come to you as common sense. But most of the fields they will be entering will be pertaining to their business. That might be entirely different from what is shown here in vanilla. So guys, make sure you collect the requirements around that. You ask them question. Can you tell me the logical sequence order? Can you tell me the tab order? By the way, after giving all this theory, I would call this a data entry tab order. Okay? Data entry tab or data entry sequence or the tab order. Okay? You will see there is a show more or show less button here, right here. Right? This is SBl 6. I'm using SBl 6 for ease purposes, but because everything is pretty much same. Okay? But show more or less button will be here. You will gather the requirements about that also. What is the importance of show more or show less? In show more and in show less, they will see less fields. In show more, he will see more fields. But what is the importance to a user? Whatever fields he wants to see all the time, he would like to be there. Whatever fields he doesn't want to see all the time, he would like it to be in the expanded applet, right? This is what you will get. Okay. This is a toggle button. It used to be represented like this in SBl 6 by like a toggle sign, like a 2 arrow sign. But in SBl 7, it is in the form of a drop down. We still call it toggle. Okay. So when you click on this, it goes into a different applet. When you click on this, the same applet changes to something else. We call it toggling. Okay. You're toggling between two applets. So in SBl 7, this toggling will be in the form of a drop down right here. Right here, there will be a drop down instead of this button. Okay. So it is used to switch from one applet to another. Usually it will be switching from form to list applet for the same entity, but here the entities are different. You know, it's organization analysis and the list of contacts. Okay. But anyway, the point of toggle is clear. The thing will be coming in front of you like this. One user will say, I want it to be entered in the form manner. The other person will say, I want to enter as the list manner. Then they both will say they want to see the account on top. So that means you have to provide an account, and then below that you want to provide this. So you cannot provide both the things. So you will provide them a toggle. Obviously, as a business analyst, you will try to dissuade them from toggling. You will try to say, why don't you everybody enters in the form? Why? Less effort. Less efforts to maintain. Right? Right? So cost and time estimation discussion is going on side by side. It means more time to deliver, more cost to deliver the same functionality. Just try to dissuade them from, you know, to when they're asking for two different types of data entry mechanism. Just say, why don't you use the top? Why don't you just use form? Why everybody should use form? That way they will. But then they might like list, because list helps you see multiple records at a time. Is it right? So it might become imperative for you to provide that. So out of the box also, in certain views, SBl provides this functionality. When users ask for it, when you are going to a user meeting, this is what you go do before you go there. You basically go through the vanilla functionality very well, and you're on top of each and every toggle that's present there, so that you can, if they ask for the toggle in those views, you will say, okay, this is right, go for it, I will do it for you. If they ask for toggles in some other views, you will say, hold guys, is it possible to stick to vanilla? Got my point? This is the other thing. Did you ever go through vanilla functionality very, very well with me? This is something that I should have done before, but you guys already know that, but I will still, go over it.
Okay.
See, this is the application level menu in SBl 7. This is SBl 7 screen, right? This is application level menu. There is usually above file edit view help, like usually above this area, right here, there is Internet Explorer, right? So that is related to Internet Explorer. You don't need to worry about all that. The only thing you need to worry about is, this area. It starts from here to this point. Okay, this is SBl area. It has an application level menu, that is the SBl menu. Okay, then it has this sequence of all these tabs. So it has the tabs. These are called, I'm calling it screen tab bar or screen tabs. Okay, I'm calling it screen tab in the bar. All the screens which are there in the application written. Typically, you will be in the original implementation, in your implementation in the client side, you'll be having much lesser screens than here. Just to let you know, typically a rep sees about 10 tabs, right? Here, because it's sample, you'll be seeing all the 250 tabs, but that's not what everybody sees. They see only the things that they're supposed to see.
Okay.
In the client side, right? This is SBl toolbar, right? In this toolbar, this is query button. This is execute query button. So instead of you click on this query button and then you click on this, then the query will get executed. You click on this, then you enter the parameters, and okay. Then this is the history. These are the history buttons, right? This will give you the list of all the views that you have visited so far. This will basically take you back. This one will take you. This one will take you back to. This one. Oh God. So this little thing will take you back to the previous view only. This will take you back to the. This is much like Internet Explorer, so you don't need to really think about that much. These are the views in this particular context screen. These are some of the other views in this context screen, right? We already know that. I'm just revising that. It's in SBl GUI basics also. So there are two types of views in SBl 7. One are here and one are here. All these views are the subsets of this screen. We all know that, right? One screen is composed of many views. So content screen is composed of all these views which are here in this drop down, which we click on this and this one. Just to let you know, this is a form applet, we all know that. This is a list applet, right? Everywhere you see an applet like this, that would mean it is a list applet, and everywhere you see an applet like this, that would mean that it's a form applet. Say you have 7 here, you will be having 20 here. They will be different from these 7. So 20 plus 7 will make the entire list of views.
Oh, so the total will be 27 there.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, I think you are saying that whether to go from here or
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
they're not same. They're different views.
They're different views.
Yeah,
Okay.
the views here are different. You'll see the name. You are civil 7, right? Why don't you start in right?
I just have a question before that I was actually.
Question is, how can you change the message in the message bar? So this is a civil functionality. There are certain screens called as administration screens. They are accessible to only administrators. Because you guys are in sample, you guys have everything. You guys logged in the civil administrator. You guys will be having access to those. We will go there and change the message, and then that message will become an active message and start scrolling here. So, okay, so there is a particular screen where you go and set it up, right? Much like an administrative console in other applications. So Civil also has a few administration screens, okay, or views. Okay, in Civil 7, here you will see a menu button.
In 6.3, right?
Please notice this scroll bars also. This is a simple thing. This is also a horizontal scroll bar. I'm just saying it so casually, like, you know, like as if this is not important, but these are very important. Many people just don't look at these scroll bars. They keep thinking these are the only records there. They keep thinking these are the only fields visible. So I'm just please let you know that, you know, please use the scroll bars. Whenever you see the scroll bars, just scroll left and right and see what those are. Okay. Similarly, I told you the form, and I think yesterday also we covered that very strongly. So this is the menu button. If you click on this, you will see the menu for this form applet. If you click on this, you will see the menu for this list applet, right? Clicking on this sitemap will show you the list of all the screens which are available in the application. Okay, so you should click it once in your Civil 7 and see what happens. Okay, these are defined queries. When you click on this, you know, these are, if you will see a list of queries that are available. You can click on them. You can choose one of the queries, and then that query will get executed. If you want, you can save a query also. If you save a query, then you can do then you can re-execute that query whenever you want. It will get saved for all times to come.
Save it.
Yeah, for example, this is in Civil 6 also. You click in here, and so if you even create a query, let's say you create a query, you make a simple query, you know, anything starting with F star, right? So then what you can do is you can save this query.
Save query.
Okay, so when next time you can execute something else, then you come back and you click on this F query, it will get executed. So sometimes while working, you'll find some queries useful. You can make them, then you can save them.
Okay,
That's a good question. He asked me whether like these queries could be folderized. You know, these queries could be grouped together, right? Then, you know, like, right? For example, in the favorites, you can group in favorites, right? That's what you're saying. It's like favorites. You know, can you organize it like your favorite, like in Civil, you know, in Interest for your favorites. You know, you go to this one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're saying like that. Like, can we group these queries and save? You know, can you group these queries together and keep different groups? No, you cannot. But just see. These are context-sensitive queries. These are only available for this particular view. Why would you make the query of professionals here? So for professionals, whatever queries are there, they will be shown here. So it's grouping is kind of automatic, right? So all the queries related to these professionals will be here. All the queries related to accounts will be here.
Okay.
Isn't that what you would anyway want? But that's good. But that's a good thing. I want you guys to think in terms of what the other constructs that you've seen other places. And whether physically Civil provides that functionality or not. That's a good thing, but I like that. That's a good thing I like. So you need to think about all these other things as well. So I'm just showing you how to make a query here. You know, like there's a way to make a query. Okay. This is pretty much the same way you'll be making Civil 6 also. This is just to navigate between records. You know, if there are multiple records, then you can navigate using this. Obviously nobody uses that much, but still I'm just putting it here. This will show you. It will take you back to the previous view, right? It will take you back to the views. It will show the history of all the views, as I said.
That
Right.
we visit, right?
The number of total number of this thing will always be shown. So you can see, you know, and you can see how many are total like this in the status bar, right? So these are some of the things available in GUI. We need to understand the meaning of each and every this thing also, and this is in the SBl GUI basics. Okay.
Good.
Knowledge that you have, if you do this chapter and the DX SBl GUI basics, you are good enough to become a tester. You really can test SBl application. You do not know how to write a test plan. You do not know how to go in the test design, how to come up with a test plan, but that's not what a SBl tester does. SBl tester tests application. SBl test planning and everything is done by either QA lead or by business analyst. So we'll make you that too sooner or later. Don't worry about that. Main thing is now you know how to use SBl GUI. If somebody gives you a script, you can execute it. Right? It's pretty much like you know each and every function that you can perform in hotmail.com. Okay?